I've been the snack and I've served the snacks, but it wasn't my dinner menu that was the cause of diabetes and heart attacks. Yet for that, I was never arrested. Under the law, the 99 cent menu is protected. But sex work in a time not so long ago, you could get 20 years. The charge was a crime against nature, and it was enough to bring grown folks to tears. Why was the justice system being so hard on sex workers who engaged in oral and anal sex? Since when does another grown man get to tell another grown man how to get his penis wet? Why were women being punished for engaging in self-autonomy, only respected when they submitted to monogamy? Meanwhile, the world around them was marinating in bigotry, such unfortunate symmetry. The fact that we could go to jail for selling the first thing we actually own, it often makes me wonder, am I in the damn Twilight Zone? How is this right, legal, moral, or even just? This is why when it comes to our government, so many lack trust. This is just another way to control our bodies. If they are our bodies or just state property. Imagine having to walk the Green Mile because you engaged in anal, because the law prohibits you from aborting the child. Imagine being convicted, treated as a sexual predator, and ripped from your home, all because you treated your body as if it was your own. Sex work needs to be criminalized. Sex work needs to be destigmatized. We the people need to open our eyes and see past the laws that divide. Turn this tide. Inspect these laws by which we rise, forcing decent people to hide, feel muted, shamed, silenced by some lopsided, misogynistic system upholding patriarchal violence. If we are to ever feel more whole, we must journey further down the road, voting out those who misuse power and abuse control. If equality is truly the goal, that's just my 2 cents if I might be so bold. Wisdom for those both young and old. Just because I rented out my body don't mean I sold my soul. Yes, I have sold many things, amongst them cinema tickets, milkshakes, and steaming hot burgers. But I learned the most during my time as a former sex worker. Straight life, it's the only life I know. Yeah. Straight life. Okay. So welcome to the live today. Try to wake up. I see we got some trolls up in here. It's some trolls in this house. It's some trolls in this house. It's some trolls in this house. So, I'm gonna play another song. Give a moderator a chance to come through before I start getting into some things. Because there's some things I want to talk about today. Gotta find me another song. Another one of my songs.
fire. We are air. We are water. We are earth. Ah, ah, mm, ah, mm. We are fire. We are air. We are. Oh, we gonna do a throwback. We gonna do this one. We gonna do this one. So you're that happy.
Black people, white people, old people, melanated people. Secure that bag, get that paper. Master got fresh scraps, they done fell off the table. Secure that bag, get that paper. Master got fresh scraps, they just fell off the table. Secure that bag. Get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They done fell off the table. Jordans is important. They calling us minorities. You better run for it, run for it, run. Nick and Daddy wanna go against the system, but you lacking wisdom, so you diss them. You don't wanna listen to the victim. Oblivious, sipping on some wisdom. How you gonna sister have it? Let us sister have it. Racism systematic, but you leave the cabbage. Make money with the master just to give it back in. Secure that bag, get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They done fell off the table. Secure that bag. Gotta get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They just fell off the table. Secure that bag. Get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They just fell off the table. Table. Oola, oola, yeah. Oola, oola, yeah. Well, you might be a boss, but what rules and soul? You got lost in the sauce with a bad you. How many people you done left standing out in the cold? You collect that check, so promissory note. It don't matter if it's the ones your oppressor wrote. But you looking at me like a joke, and you got secret handshakes with this dude like he's Chucky. You running to his money like the bees run the honey. The only difference is that the bees create the honey. You just make the money, then he takes the money. Now you looking funny, wake up, mommy. Get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They done fell off the table. Woo! I gotta get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They done fell off the table. Secure that bag. Get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. Bitch fell off the table. Secure that bag. Gotta get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. Bitch fell off the table. Secure that bag. Gotta get that paper. Master got fresh scraps. They done fell off the table.
Fun fact, that song was actually inspired by T.S. Madison too. That bitch has been the source of a lot of inspiration over the years. That's a fun fact for y'all.
Oh, 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 let's go. God, goddess, goddess, let's go. Give me a sign, let's go. Oh, oh, let's go. You let me know when it's time to go. God, goddess, just give me a sign. You let me know. You let me, you let me, you let me know. You let me know. I'll be down to ride. It's gonna be alright. You let me, you let me know. Yeah. Maintaining, I'm gaining, my patience escalating. Phase me, just remain waiting for a sign. Give me a destination, give me a revelation, a manifestation that I can prophesy. Shift my shape into whatever leads the blind. Revitalize mind and spirit, heal my body inside. They blind cause they've been lied to. Forgive them, mother, for they do not know you about to ride. You let me know, I'll be down to ride. By your side, it's gonna be alright. Let me know, I'm not in a rush, and you I will trust. That is enough. Open the floodgates. Let it rain, Hail Mary, oh shoom. We floating on them shrooms. Let the Father know that the bride be ready soon. We bout to jump this broom. Blessed womb, bloody cooch, healing portal of youth. I ain't here to hate, just trying to live in my truth. I got something to say, I'ma jump in the booth. Coming strong like Patron, all day 80 proof. 2025's the come, about to get this loot. Prepare the escape route for the tribe, ready to ride. When the real mama come through, when the real mama come through, when the real mama come through, yeah. Thank you, mother. Thank you, father. You made my soul, yeah. I'm down to ride. We're down to ride for you. Oh, that's all we wanna do. Thank you, mother. Thank you, father. And be heal my soul. Yeah. Lila. I'm down to ride. We're down to ride for you. That's all. Oh, darling. You talk about it. I think it's more like. Oh my God, we can have a Christmas.
See, your music gotta have a message. You gotta have a meaning. Christmas time has come, but it feels a different way. I'm getting tired of praising idols and the things of yesterday. So just keep on dying over senseless wars. Also certain people to have a little more. It's not about it's about ooh, it's about family. We got a right to be free. It's about you and me, yeah. Family. Oh, we got a right to be free. Your sisters come a missing. Gotta listen hard to hear her name. Cause most too busy slaving over things to ease the pain. I try to feed myself up, try to stay in my own lane. But false prophets on every corner, trying to make us feel ashamed. You try to put me back to sleep, but my likeness just gon' change. Cause I come from sovereignty, you're not finna force me to play this game. It's not family. We got a right to be free. It's about family. Oh, we got a right to be free. Buried in their songs, many hearts are just like stone. The world has gotten so cold. Why can't we be right and roll? You and me, yeah. Family. Oh, we got a right to be free. Hey, 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 hey. But we rather be.
What's in our hearts is the reason for every season. So what's in your hearts this season? Remember to check on your loved ones because it's cold outside. We love you. Layla, Layla.
It's not about Christmas. It's about you and me. It's about family. We got a right to be free. Yeah.
Santa Claus Hell Wednesday.
Bolder dash. Hail babies in wicker baskets.
And see, your music shapes your reality. Like your art shapes your reality, and people don't understand the power of art. Like, like motherfuckers be looking at me and they be saying, "You look, you know, you look young to say you about to turn 50. Like you don't look like you about to turn 50." And it's because of what I feed myself. You know, not just what I put on a plate, but what I feed my soul. Like the images that I paint, like the stories that I tell through my music and my art and my platform. We are self-healing. Like we can heal ourselves. We just have to cover ourselves in that. We just have to shroud ourselves in that music. You gotta put that. You gotta cover yourselves in that. You gotta wrap yourselves in healing, baby. You gotta cover yourselves in that protective blanket, baby. You gotta put that all around you, baby. That's what you gotta do. Like for real. Like no tea, no shade. You got to put that. You got to cover yourself in that. You got to wrap yourself in that. And you got to be unapologetic about that. This one right here, honey. What is that song? Yeah, I'm going to play that one.
The goal is to create
Well,
the
not you
feeling
gonna
as
give me
if
a
the prayer is already answered. All humans have to recognize.
the strongest branches will never separate from the roots. And period.
You covered.
Every day, every way we cover, cover. Every day we cover, cover, cover. Ah. Every day cover head and shoulders, knees and toes. You cover to the flow, now bring it up slow. Now bring it up slow. Every day cover head, hands, shoulders, knees and toes. We cover to the flow, now bring it up slow. Now bring it up slow. Check it out. This meditation will take you further. If it's about shade, I can't be bothered. Shine bright like a model Fendi and Prada. Holding my spirit, both my daddy and my mama. More spiritual than Christmas and Kwanzaa. This DNA been here, but some came from Ghana. Old folks used to say we going up yonder. Commune with ancient grass as Mary if she wanna. Blessed by the mother and the father. For my liberation, they became martyrs. Yeah, we made it through the blood and the slaughter. Can't run if you wanna go farther. Hate to lose a team, I ain't trying to be a starter. Love's in the lead and we in the fourth quarter. Tears on the rise and that's why we hitting harder. But we shape shifting on them like water. Touchdown, we at the border. Power running through Oshun, Ogun. For your favor, I jump this broom. Just come daily. Let's be ready soon. Let the light chase the dark while the chase soon. No longer have a hole. A blend of different nations like an octoroom. Every day cover head, hands, shoulders, knees and toes. You cover to the flow, now bring it up slow. Now bring it up slow. Every day cover head, hands, shoulders, knees and toes. You cover to the flow, now bring it up slow. Now bring it up slow. Well, you might be a boss, but what rules your soul? You got lost in the sauce of the bag you hold. How many people you done left standing out in the cold? I thought you rather had Jesus than a silver and gold. You collect fat checks on promissory notes. It don't matter if it's the ones your oppressor wrote. But you looking at me like a joker. You got secret handshakes with this dude like it's chummy. Running to his money like the beast run to money. The only difference is that the beast create the honey. You just make the money, then he takes the money. Wake up, dummy. Mama's coming. Every day cover head, hands, shoulders, knees and toes. She cover to the flow, now bring it up slow. Now bring it up slow. Every day cover head, hands, shoulders. We don't commune with this loyalty. If you fake, stay away from me. We don't commune with this loyalty. If you fake, stay away from me. We don't commune with this loyalty. Ah!
Like I said, the strongest branches.
Yeah. I could literally sit here and
So
play
you did
and
the
play
thing.
positive
Or
song
maybe you
after
think about doing
positive
it.
song,
And now your
and it'll be
brain
all
won't shut
original.
up about it. Wait, what's up?
It'll be all original. It'll be all original. Like I could literally be on here all day just playing original, just playing original after original. Look, you made it all, Nadia. I could be on here playing original after original. I didn't even know you was out here. Enoch say love that song. You singing it. Yeah. Just on here, just vibing, just playing, just healing song after healing song after healing song. You know what I'm saying? Just healing song after healing song after healing song. I'll play one more. Then I'm gonna start talking about the topic. But I got one more song I wanna play. And this is dedicated to Aaron. I'm not gonna play the bounce version because I can't shake right now. I'm gonna go ahead and play the regular version of it. But I do have two different versions of it. But this is, dedicated to, everybody who ever been in love and you love somebody and you could not express that love publicly, and you was just waiting for the day where you could express that love publicly. And so I wrote this before, it was legal to have same-sex marriage and all of that, before I had my sex change. Like, this song is very old. I wrote it the last time that I was in jail for the last time I had did I ain't never did no long time. Like the longest I ever been in jail was 104 days. So I wrote this the last time I was in there. For the day that I'll hold your hand, and I pray for the day day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. Said I wait for the day that I'll hold your hand. And I pray for the day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. When you was with them other girls, you said it was lust. But in my heart, I know it's different. They don't know about us. Cause I'ma ride for you. Paint a nice picture. Forget them other guys. I'm trying to spend my life with you. Cause what we feeling is real. We found love on this battlefield. Cause love is a battlefield. I said love is when the sun begins to set and the sky it gets dark. The love you give to me chases the rain from my heart. All I see is sunshine. You blow my mind. So hold me like it's the last time. Ooh, word about what's going on outside of your arms. And I'm not worried about what's going wrong outside of your arms. When there's a storm, when there's a storm, when there's a storm. Yeah. For the day that I'll hold your hand, and I pray for the day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. Wait for the day that I'll hold your hand, and I pray for the day that folks understand. But even if they never do, I'ma still love you. Even if they never do, I'ma still ride for you. I feel good. The sunshine chased the rain away. The little children went out to play. Nobody got killed in my hood today. I feel good. The sunshine chased the rain away. The little children went out to play. Nobody got killed in my hood today. Yeah, yeah.
Refresh your space.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Rich
yeah,
solid
yeah.
bricks to velvet-like textures.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, motherfuckers, people want to know. They be saying, why you look so good? Why you look so young for your age? Because I be watering myself with healing. You got to cover yourself. You got to wrap yourself. You got to speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in love. Not the Lord. In love. Speak over. Encourage yourself in love. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to speak victory during the test. You gotta speak over yourself. Speak over yourself. Like, be encouraged, Daddy. TS glowing growth and healing. Exactly. Yes, and greetings. Hey, Fly God. So, hey, Enoch. So, we are gonna talk about exploitation in children. But before I get into the topic, I promised that we was gonna do a further dissection of infantara. So before we get into the children, because really this video, what I want to do for the children who are being exploited by their parents, whether it's intentional, whether it's by accident, I know that there's a lot of negativity coming at Blue. I know there's a lot of negativity coming at Miss Shirley, you know, the little girl who doing the boots on the ground dance. And I really just want to take this time to cover them, and to, you know, pray their strength, you know, to ask the ancestors to come and just be around them, you know, because they children, you know, they just doing what their parents is grooming them to do. So, you know, this live is definitely not going to be an attack on the children or a judgment of the children, but we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about that, you know, afterwards. But I want to go back to Infantara because because after we get into Infantara, we're gonna go into the covering for the children, and just like really, you know, unpack what's going on. So I'm gonna use the Bible today because I have been getting some some downloads, and they kind of like include the Bible. So we're gonna read Infantara again, and when we read Infantara, because yesterday we talked about the triple goddess head, and so I was trying to, like, I was getting downloads today before the live of how Infantara connects with the triple goddess head, and the triple goddess head is Lilith, Eve, and Mary Magdalene. So we're fixing to break down how the triple goddess head aligns with the nine in Infantara. So I'm gonna read the Infantara story again. Then we are going to read a little bit from Genesis. Read a little bit from Genesis, and go ahead and further break that down. So Infantara, there were 8 sides of them. Her, they, she, we. That split. Nympha. Okay, so Nympha, one side, carnal, filled with passion, lust, very tempting, very alluring, very charming, inviting but aggressive, hunting, very likes to hunt, serpent-like energy, and praise after, you know, like she's a hunter, like she like a skilled hunter. That's it. Like, and her sexual appetite, you know, she approaches it like a serpent, like her sexual energy, her eroticism, her energy. So the first one is Nympha. Roberta is submissive, patient, forgiving, willing to sacrifice and suffer, take a back seat in order to serve both who enter and exit them, always willing to serve others, humbly accepts diminishment if it in return exalts those that she loves or treasures. So the first one is Nympha. The second one is Roberta. Now, as I'm listing these beings, I want you to think about where they would go in the triple goddess head. I want you to think about where Nympha would go in the triple goddess head, because the triple goddess head is, and Anandia, if you could write that in the chat, I could pin it. The triple goddess head is Lilith, Eve, and Mary Magdalene. So I want you to think about where these beings would go in the triple goddess head, because we're going to put all of them into different categories. Now, I already done this in my mind, but I want, you know, y'all to do this exercise with me. So the third one is Cora. Wishing deep protection over them babies. Yes, yes, all of them babies. Yes. Um, Cora. Okay, Cora is an ambitious dreamer, a visionary, motivated to build, willing conformist, more demanding than nurturing, more entitled than humble, prizes control over thoughtful consideration, um, feel their ways is best feel their ways is best accurate and the safest, has a need to feel protected and centered even when actions are questionable. Okay? Abundance. Extremely fertile, using this as leverage to advance their cause, creating offspring for the purpose of loyalty, and I want you to think about abundance's archetype as we get ready to talk about Blue Ivy. Like as we get ready to go into Blue Ivy, I want you to think about Cora and I want you to think about abundance because these are the two archetypes that are birthing these babies for the exploitation that is happening. Cora and Abundance, I'm gonna go ahead and just, give that Blues Clues away. Cora and Abundance, they definitely is the ones behind what's going on in this here matrix when it comes to child exploitation. If you listen to the descriptions of Cora and Abundance, Abundance extremely fertile, using this as leverage to advance their cause, creating offspring for the purpose of loyalty as service to the energy and entities the fertile being has aligned themselves to. The ability to produce offspring is being the greatest purpose, and what they produce they prize like trophies, speaking to their accomplishments. So that's Cora and Abundance. Nomada. Nomada is a free spirit. Nature, when nature calls, the matrix feels like the matrix makes Nomada feel claustrophobic. It feels claustrophobic to this being. They're clairvoyant, intuitive. They hear things over the loud vibrations and corrupt frequencies of chaos. Now, no matter, I love no matter. I think I don't know who I resonate with the most, but I definitely resonate with no matter. Here's vibrations here's things over the loud vibrations and corrupt frequencies of chaos that ravage society. This being sees through the cracks of the dream sequence, the illusion, and longs for the peace that exists in balance and wholeness. This is why they engage to reach that place they never wanted. Oh, and this is why they engage with that space. Wait, hold on. See through the cracks of the illusion and longs for peace that exists in balance and wholeness. This is why they engage to reach that place. They never wanted the split. Okay, so the only reason why they engage with people, period, is because they're trying to reconnect. They're trying to reestablish wholeness. So Nomada moves around a lot, trying to find Nomada moves around trying to find their tribe. No matter is trying to connect the dots. No matter don't sit still. No matter gonna move around because no matter is trying to connect the dots. No matter is not stagnant. No matter flows like a rushing river. No matter moves like a river, like an ocean. No matter is not a pond. No matter is not a creek. No matter is a river that's flowing. No matter got to be in motion. No matter got to get around. No matter got to move. And it almost sounds like no matter, like no matter, like I'm not matter, I'm spirit, and you know spirit can move more than matter. So I love the fact that I wasn't even thinking about that when I named the entity no matter, like when I heard no matter, but it sounds like no matter, like not, I'm not solid, like I'm spirit, no matter. That's the, oh my goodness, I love that. Like every time you read, you get like a new nugget. Come on, multi-dimensional. Come on, new nugget. Come on, new gem. Hashtag new gem. New gems in the comment. New gems in the comment. um, Baroness is empty but not soulless. Hungers, but it's not physical nourishment they need. It is what we call, not what we call soul food, but actual soul food. This being is wise because they are more introvert, since physical offspring never came from within, they often go within. They are a seer of things. It is believed that their offspring, because their offspring will never birth, they guide them from another realm, and sometimes talk, and barrenness hears them, and barrenness longs to rejoin them. So barrenness never physically gave birth in this dimension. Barrenness never physically gave birth on this plane, but barrenness hears the voices of her children that never came here. Barrenness hears her offspring in other realms, and they guide her and they are with her, but barrenness never brought them here in the physical. So barrenness is guided from the spiritual plane by her children. Come on, barrenness. I love barrenness. Okay. Scarletta. Scarletta is a fearful spirit, closed off soul, dormant, inactive, guided by idols and prophets, constantly under the influence or consciousness or conscious altering elements that have led to inner pollution. Because of this, they they don't. Oh most as their inherent opposition. Because of this inward pollution, this way they don't true see most as an inherent opposition. They are often at war and ready for war. Okay, so because of this, they're at opposition. Because of the things that have happened to Scarletta, Scarletta has been poisoned by this matrix. Scarletta has been used and abused by these men, by these people, by society, and so Scarletta is a little bit poisoned. Scarletta is a little bitter, because Scarletta, was out there trying to find the one and found the wrong one. And so and they label Scarletta because of it. And so Scarletta truth is kind of distorted for Scarletta. I think that's what I mean. I don't know why I can't read that because I read it perfectly the first time. But yeah, so a lot of people see her as inherently opposition. They come for her because of and she's guided by idols. Like she allows, and I think Scarletta has the potential to heal because I definitely could resonate with Scarletta. I think that I've been Scarletta at one time in my life. Yeah, Scarletta is scarred and yeah, scarred and wounded animal. Like I definitely could relate to Scarletta. I think I have been like I was Scarletta probably like in my late 20s, like definitely with Scarletta tease. So I could definitely relate to Scarletta. So Gadisha is super conscious, often tired because Gadisha travels between realms, needs lots of rest because the other halves of themselves are off having various dream sequences. Gadisha checks in on all of them projecting to them via technology and dreams, sometimes even physically, um, manifesting the split without. Yeah, so manifesting the split happened. Manifesting a split could not happen without some of them feeling betrayed. Gadisha is trying to get all of the pieces of themselves to reemerge and charter a new path. Gadisha doesn't have an earthly tribe because this is Gadisha's tribe. Um, so there's a ninth sibling, and the ninth sibling is more masculine than feminine. The ninth sibling, which we talked about in the previous live, is a more male than female sibling. And the ninth sibling wandered off during the split. So this was a being that they all kind of birthed together, and but during the birthing process, they when the child was being when the being was being born, when the being was coming from them, the rest of the parts of Infantera use this as their escape route. Like they use this moment. Who the fuck is that? Yeah, what is that? We have detected a potential violation of community guidelines if the live stream is not ended. What community guidelines is being violated? Yeah, I don't think that's from YouTube though. Yeah, why would YouTube send a face like that? And what we have detected a potential violation of our community guidelines if the live stream. Yeah, that shit is crazy. Like who would come in here and do something like that? Like that is so weird. It's a punk spam. That's a troll. Okay. That was crazy. Wasn't that crazy? Wasn't that crazy to come up here and try to derail the conversation like that? Anyway, so so the last being, like when the split was happening, when the Infantara split was happening, um the little being got away, and like I told y'all, the being did not get the opportunity to finish developing, right? So they all have to come together. Okay, so they all have to come back together so the ninth being could grow and evolve. So I want to go. So I want to do a little bit of a discussion about Eve. Now we're wait, hold on, blah 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 blah. God created man in His own image. In the image, God created he him male and female. He created them. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Where's the scripture? Da 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 da. Eat thou shalt surely die. The Lord said da 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 da. Out of the ground he formed da 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 da. Okay, da 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 da. And man shall leave the father and cling to it, and become one flesh. And they both were naked, wife, and were not ashamed. The serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field, and 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 the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said ye shall not eat of this tree? and in the garden, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may not eat of the fruit. Okay, so here you go, right here. Okay, so Genesis chapter 3. Okay, so God made the serpent. So God made the serpent, and the serpent was a he too. Girl, the Bible just the Bible want to he everybody. And he said unto the woman, Ye hath God Ye hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may not eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not certainly die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing God, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat it, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat of it. Now, let's get into Eve. Because Eve wasn't no sucker. See, you gotta get into Eve. Because when we get ready to do this break, it's my marker. Girl, I need my marks a lot, girl. Girl, wait, hold on. I think I got a mark. I don't know if this is a permanent marker. Child, I don't know if this is a permanent marker or not, girl. Yeah, this might be a permanent. This don't come off. Girl, I got to buy me another motherfucking board, girl. Okay. Cause we need some visual going on here. Cause we gotta write this down, girl. We gotta have a visual going, girl, so we could see, girl. Okay. So girl. So you got Mary. No, wait. You got. Hold on. You got Lilith. Then you got Eve. And then you got Mary. So we got Lilith, we got Eve, we got Mary. Okay, so based on Lilith's character, we already know Gadisha is gonna go under Lilith. Now Eve was like, I'm not about to leave Adam, cause bitch, Adam, I could get Adam to do what I want Adam to do. I told Adam to eat from this tree, and Adam did it because I told him to do. Adam gonna be my little. Adam gonna run for me. Adam gonna hold me down. Bitch, I'ma go ahead. Lilith was like, I'm above this. I'm not finna be bothered. Y'all had it. Nah. But Eve was like, I got use for you, Adam. I could use you. So Eve, we gonna put Cora under Eve. And we definitely gonna put Abundance under Eve. Because that's definitely Abundance character too. We gonna say that Amanda gonna go under Lilith. No matter. And Mary was considered to be like the sexual one. So Nympha is gonna go under her. And Scarlet is gonna go up under Mary. Scarletta. So no matter is under Lilith, Gadisha is under Lilith, Cora is under Eve, Abundance is under Eve. I would say that Baroness would also be under Lilith. Because Baroness, spent a lot of time within herself talking to her children. Because Baroness, she fuck with the world, but she not really of the world. So we're going to say Baroness. Baroness is with Lilith. Because Baroness, if we do choose, Baroness was like, I'm not even bringing no children into this foolishness. Like, I'm not going to do it. So that's 1, 2, 3 for Lilith. That's two for Eve. And that's two for Mary. Let's see who's missing. Oh, Roberta. Roberta is going to go up under Eve. So the only one that's missing, Roberta, you said it already. You got it. Okay, so Roberta is Eve. So the only one that's left is the son. And the son, I think, would be more closely connected with Mary. I think the son would be more closely connected with Mary because the son be out here wilding. Like Mary give you more so like Mary wilding, but Mary like involved in the earth, but Mary like wilding. So, and this is why Eve would be able to have more seniority in this matrix. Because if you think about it, Eve is behind. Eve manipulates Adam. And Eve is also able to manipulate Mary. Because Mary is viewed as the outcast. And Eve is viewed as acceptable. Because Eve is the one that's producing the children for the plantation. Mary out here wilding. Mary out here doing her thing. Mary is not the type of stable maternal figure that Eve is. And so I think Eve works behind the scenes. I think the son is gonna be more closely resonated. Like the son will probably fall in between Eve and Mary, but I'm definitely gonna think that the son is gonna lean more towards Mary. So Gadisha, no matter, and Baroness fall under Lilith. Cora, Abundance, and Roberta fall under Eve. Nympha, Scarletta, and the ninth child that would probably fall between Eve and Mary. And just Eve having access to the son, being able to use the son and manipulate the son like she did with Adam, that shows the biggest problem with trying to bring the Godhead or the God Goddess head back together, trying to bring wholeness back together. Because if Eve have these three solid and then have access to the sun, who got the most power? Eve is pulling strings while Mary is in her own little world, but navigating, and Lilith is detached from the BS. I just got here, and who are all these entities, goddess? Okay, yeah. So Eve is really like pulling the strings. So we're talking about Infantara. We're talking about Infantara, and we just did a full breakdown of Infantara, and these are all the beings from Infantara, and we're talking about which archetypes they would go under in Christian lore. So Gadisha, Nomada, Baroness, Cora, Abundance, Roberta, um, Nympha, and Scarletta, and the Sun, they are all entities from Laylim Layler lore, or Laylim Layler spirituality. This is the eight-sided being that split to for the matrix to happen and the spiritual world to happen. And Lilith, Eve, and Mary are Christian lore, and so we are connecting Christian lore with Laylim Layler lore, and we are having a conversation about that now. So that's where we are, and we're using this conversation to go into the conversation that was the purpose of the live, and the purpose of the live is to really talk about how Eve. Like Eve is something. Like, so when you really think about it, they tried to blame Eve for the fall. And when you really look at it, like when you look at it from another way, like Eve wanted to be here. Eve wanted to do this. Because Eve could have did what Lilith did and said, "Oh no, I'm gonna ascend." Eve said, no. Eve said, "I want to connect with it. I want to know what the tea is. I'm going to eat from this tree. I want to know what it is. And, I might not be able to do all the stuff that Lilith do, but, I'm going to be able to do my thing down here. I'm about to see what the tea is. Like, okay, I'm going to have some babies and, like, Eve really, like, when you really think, like, when you revisit it, like, when you really think about Eve's character, like, they kind of put a lot of stank on Eve because the men are not taking responsibility, and this will be the sun in Laylim Layler lore. So when I say the sun, SUN, I'm talking about Adam. The Adam, or the son, is not taking responsibility for the fact that he allowed himself to be duped. I don't know if maybe he felt played because he was dealing with some type of feelings because Lilith rejected him. And so by the time Eve came, it was like, okay, Lilith rejected me, so I don't want to mess up again. So I'm gonna go ahead and humble myself when it comes to Eve. Eve had an advantage because Eve was the second one. Eve was the second time. And he didn't want Eve to reject him. So he humbled himself a little bit more for Eve. And Eve used that to her advantage. Eve wanted the whole 3D experience. Exactly. 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 Lilith poked her head in and said, "I let me." Lily poked her head in and said, "Alright, I'ma head out. This ain't it." Lily was like, nah, this is giving slavery. This is giving beneath me. Like, no, like, I'm not, you're not about to force me to play these games. I am not about to do this. Find somebody else to do it. And Eve was like, I don't think what this is. And she looked at him as a worker bee. She looked at Adam as like, okay, Adam, all right. So I need you to do this, and this. Eve very much pillow talked the shit out of Adam. And I think that's the resentment. I think that's part of the resentment that we're seeing behind the scenes because the son is also the husband. And I think that's why this Oedipus thing hit so deeply because the son came from like the son was created by the womb. And so the relationship that the son has with the mother is very much a offspring lover type role. Like I came from you, but I've also been your mate, but I was also created by you. Like I also came from you. Well, the whole one, because I think Lilith was intersexed. I think Lilith was intersexed. I think Eve was not intersexed. I think Lilith may have been a whole one. And I think that's why Lilith was like, I don't even need you to create. Because they say Lilith had children without having to sleep with nobody. Lilith is wholeness. Like Lilith was Sophia. Low key, Lilith might have been the serpent. Low key. So, when we unpack everything that's going on in this matrix, oh well, it's on here, man. I'm gonna have to get a new board, baby. That's permanently on there now, but we got the point. So what I think we're gonna have to do is Mary is a spliced halfling. Yeah, Mary out there. Mary is Mary is the offspring of Eve, and Eve was already on some fuck shit when Eve was like, "I'ma go ahead and play around on this Pontation," and Mary is offspring of Eve around here playing around in this dimension. Eve, like by the time Mary got here, Mary had to wade through so much polluted DNA. Like we have to be clear, like these entities, like Eve was purer, and I think because of that, Eve was a little cocky. Eve was a little egotistical because Eve was one of the first beings, and so Eve was not polluted. Eve was one of the first. Eve was original. So Eve was high tech. Eve was top shelf. Eve was, like Eve was, she was top shelf. Like Eve was, she was prime, but she was the best of the best. Like she was next to Lilith, right up under Lilith. But by the time Mary had then got here, Mary had then came through some polluted DNA. Mary had to come through some punkyarchy DNA. Mary. By the time Mary got here, she had done come through some doors that had done been corrupted. Eve chose. Eve chose, and Eve made a lot of mistakes because when Eve ate of the fruit, Eve was cocky and Eve was like, I want to know. And so Eve was the trial and error. Eve came here in this 3D dimension, and for her it was a lot of trial and error. And unfortunately, Mary was the fruit of the trial and error. And so by the time Mary hadn't got here, Mary hadn't waded through a whole bunch of feces and manure. And that's why Mary was out there like that. And I'm not saying that it was wrong what Mary did, because I think all of it's about experience. All of it's about learning. I'm not, putting Mary down. I'm just saying that by the time Mary came through a door, the doors had been corrupted. The doors had been polluted. And so Mary came in with a greater disadvantage than Lilith. Eve was that pure girl. The DNA was already poked when Mary got here. Exactly. Eve knew the truth after eating the apple and still wanted to punk out. My God is God today. Indeed. She wanted to participate in the punkiarchy. And so now we have a reality that is the result of Eve's ego. Eve wanting to, and this was the smack in the face. If it wasn't for Eve, none of this would be possible. But they wore Eve out and don't even give Eve credit. Because if you think about it, when they left the garden, that was probably the beginning of the matriarchy. Because Eve had control over Adam. God put them out the garden. It was not a patriarchy. Eve was calling the shots. Eve ate from the tree first, so Eve tapped into the consciousness before Adam. Eve tapped into the knowingness before Adam. Eve already knew before Adam knew. Eve started tapping into that divine consciousness, and Eve started channeling and getting downloads before Adam. So that would explain why it was probably a matriarchy to begin with, because Eve was obviously more advanced than Adam, because Eve ate from the tree before Adam. So when they told Adam, when they made Adam leave, because God had gave Adam dominion in the garden. And when that being pushed God, when they put them out, then Eve took control. God said, "Oh no, we're not about to do no matriarchy up in here." That being said, "Oh no, we're not gonna do that up in here." Both of y'all was supposed to be servants to me. Neither one of y'all was supposed to be on this level. Like y'all was made to lift me up, to exalt me. Y'all were created to worship me. Y'all were created to celebrate me. That's what I created y'all for. And so now y'all have knowledge. Well, y'all gonna go out and find your own way and do your own thing. We already knew who was in charge. It was Eve, because Eve came into consciousness first. And I'm sure Eve, in her consciousness, understood that Adam probably had physical advantages that she did not have. And so she said, "I got to work this another way." I got to work this another way. And see, those are the parts they leaving out of the Bible. Because I think Eve had a whole bunch of daughters first. I think Eve had a whole bunch of children before the son started coming. Or maybe Lilith was the one having all the daughters. Eve took advantage of Adam's undeveloped mind, right? Because she came into consciousness before Adam. And so it probably was definitely a matriarch. Cause think about it. Even in the Old Testament of the Bible, they talk about Babylon, and they talk about how it was a lot of goddess worship. They called it idols and all of that. And they talk about how the males were castrating themselves on rocks so that they could follow the goddess. Like, they talk about this in the Bible. And so I think that I think during Eve's era, it was a matriarch. Like, I don't think that Eve was the rib, or she was humble. I don't think that's what the tea was. Like, in the Bible, we get a whiff of that when it say she got him to eat the apple. Then when they left the garden, God was saying, y'all on y'all own. Y'all go do your own thing. Because I created y'all to serve me. Clearly, y'all got y'all own plans. Okay, well, get out my garden. Go and do that shit in the streets. Whatever it is you about to do, go do that out there. And Eve had already established dominance. That's why we don't really get deeper into Adam's story after Cain and Abel is born. If you notice, the Bible doesn't really dig further into Adam and Eve's story after they leave the garden. They start to focus on the children, Cain and Abel, because this is when the matriarch is happening. And so I think it's important to understand that Eve's era, during Eve's time, it was a matriarch. And why this story is important to unpack with where we were going with child exploitation is, in order to understand how the matriarchy fell, we have to understand what the matriarchy was rooted in. We have to understand what caused the matriarchy to fall, what energy caused the matriarchy to fall and caused the patriarchy to rise up. Because we assume, because the Bible says that Adam was given dominion, but Adam was given dominion in the garden. And Adam forfeited that dominion when he listened to Eve. I don't think God gave Adam dominion. I think both of them was worker bees, but that's how they frame it in the Bible, so that you won't really look between the lines. Because it says God made them both in their likeness. Like, they were created. They both was. Why would God create Eve in God's likeness if God didn't want Eve to at least be Adam's equal? So I definitely believe that the being was creating them to be equals. And then, but then maybe because it was two creations. So it was the creation when it say God created them in their image. Okay, so the first creation was when God created Adam and Lilith. Lilith said, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to head out. So then God took parts of Adam, because Adam seemed to be more submissive and listening. So God took something from Adam and made Eve, but Eve still was trying it, but Eve was a little bit more strategic with how Eve was trying it. So God said, oh, okay, or the creator said, oh, okay, this one right here is very willful, because I think Lilith might have tipped up in that garden and put Eve on game. I think Lilith was the serpent, Sophia, and tipped up in that garden and put Eve on game and was like, girl, blah, 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 whoop-de, whoop-de, whoop, eat from that tree, girl, and da-da-da-da, whoop-de, whoop-de, woo, girl. You at least you'll know what the tea is. And so it was like, you girls keep trying it. So you know what? You take Adam and y'all get out of here. So then the matriarch happened on earth. Then when the matriarch started on Earth, that's why again they don't really dig into Adam's storyline, and they don't really dig into Eve's storyline. They go right into Cain and Abel's storyline, because during that time it was probably not a patriarch, it was a matriarchal society. And so again, for us to understand, and a lot of the work that we do at Laylim Layler, and we're doing at the Nation of Purple Nation, is trying to understand what caused the matriarch to fail. What was it? Because in order to get the bride ready, or to get the mother ready to take her place, and to not be diminished or to not be reduced, and to regain equal power, and to be it lifted up, we have to look at what caused the fall. And what I'm seeing is a little bit of manipulation, some mind games. Eve did some fuck shit. To sum it up, I feel like the Garden of Eden was trial and error, test and developed into too much more, and developed into much more after the garden. It's giving the Sims at the time. It wasn't balanced. It was all matriarch, and eventually turned into all patriarch. Certain entities came into the realm and changed it up. And see, the matriarch probably got too egotistical, treating the men like they were just workhorses and beneath them, because they could not carry life. You could definitely see remnants of that today in society. Just I think that a lot of times, beings who are born with wombs and who resonate more with womanhood tend to have this idea of, because they are the carriers of physical life, um all the stories that's connected to, the intersex beings and Lilith, like they carry those stories because they were the first ones to get that knowledge, that the way that the Bible teaches. And so because they have that mental advantage, they probably were able to alchemize in a way that beings who were born male were not. They probably had access to gifts in a way that beings who were born male were not. And so this created an insecurity in a lot of the male body beings. And that insecurity bred a spirit of contempt, a spirit of, I'm going to get you back for this, a spirit of, wait till I catch you slipping, a spirit of, so I don't think that Eve was innocent. And I think that we're bred to believe, like, once we come into that first level of awareness, once we first come into a waking up, because this is such a patriarchal society, we just automatically want to blame the father and just automatically say he wrong and say everything that he did was wrong because this is a patriarchal society, and we just mad at him because he shitted on mama and he messed over mama. You know what I'm saying? And although a lot of that is true, we always have to do shadow work and do the root work as to how this started. We are, and playing the whole tape, we have to understand how this started. And if we're being honest, maybe the matriarch began to get cocky and sloppy and take for granted the relationship that the males had with them. Because I do think that a lot of women, a lot of females, a lot of beings who identify with womanhood are natural leaders and natural teachers and natural guides. But sometimes it's the cockiness and the ego, it's the attitude that that there needs to be a balance, because if a man has certain physical strengths, then why wouldn't he activate his brute force? Like for example, I saw this video and I think I shared this video on my story about how this gay man said that a lot of straight black men they want to be the head of the house, but they want to be like white men are. And this is no shade to all white men, because I don't think all Caucasian white men are like this. Certainly, some Caucasian white men are henpecked. Some Caucasian white men are simps. Some, Caucasian white men, like, really, they're not the head of their house. But the white men that we see like thriving in this reality are the ones who know how to perform, um, know how to perform, they know how to perform self-control. They know how to perform professionalism. They know how to perform discipline, self-discipline. But really, honestly and truly, they would like unalive their wife. If they would unalive women, they would use brute force to unalive these women if they felt like their women were trying to take power. This is why we constantly see these stories of how these Caucasian men, like we see more stories about how Caucasian men were taking their women, like they controlled the birthing rates. They literally, the war on abortion is about white women not giving birth. Like they overturn the law because they're forcing them to give them babies. They're forcing them to keep creating babies. And then when we look at the war between the Caucasian male and the Caucasian woman, we see so many examples where they were literally like burning them at the stake. They were beheading them. They were doing all types of things to them because they were trying to check that spirit. They was trying to check that energy. They was trying to check that defiance. And because they want a patriarchal society. They were demonizing them. They created a religion and made them witches in order to rule over them. And we don't see these examples in black lore. Like we don't often see that black men are willing to go as far as burning women at the stake and beheading them, but we do know that violence happens. And also, I think that scares some Caucasian women more, like the bulk of them more, having so much knowledge of the history of the violence, like physically seeing the violence that's happened to them, because we physically see the violence that has happened to white women on screen more than we see the violence. Like we know that a lot of violence has happened to black women over the course of history, but we visually see the violence happening to white women. We visually seen in the Salem witch trials, in the queens, a bunch of queens who had their head chopped off. Like you could even be in a position of royalty and get beheaded. Like being of noble blood didn't even save you from getting your head chopped off if they felt like you was disrespectful. And so, because that has been ingrained in Caucasian women's mind, they are more fearful to disrespect their husbands, because there's been countless visual examples of what will happen if you don't stay in the place that we've worked so hard to put you in. And I think that that colonial energy of doing that to women and treating women in that way, that seeped into Africa. Not Aki Bolin, which was the name prior to it being called Africa, but I think when it was colonized by the Europeans, that energy has seeped into Africa and it affects the storytelling, and that's why I'm so leery of this pan-African ideology, because Africa has been co-opted, the motherland has been corrupted by colonialism, and colonialism is fueled by at all costs. We will burn you at the stake, we will behead you, we will hang you from trees. Know your place. Because I don't think that in essence we were like this as a society. I don't think that black males who identify with manhood, who identify with the construct of manhood, I don't think that originally they mind not being the head of the house. I don't think it was a big deal. Why would they want to be the head of the house when they were off hunting? When they were trying to figure out ways to protect and to protect their children, to protect their offspring. Like if you're always somewhere trying to make sure the land is safe, you're hunting, you're gathering, you're doing all of these things, then naturally the woman is the woman who's spending time in the home, or the being who's spending time in the home caring for the children, and the woman and the being who's in the home most is clearly going to be the head of the home. It makes perfect sense. But we live in a reality that's distorted the truth. If this being is literally at home, making the home, preparing the home, spending all this time in the home, then it makes sense that that being would be the head of the home. Like, how are you gone all day and then you come home and take over? Like, you come home and you control everything, but the being who's there spending the most time with the offspring and nurturing the space and cultivating the space and alchemizing the space just relinquishes control when you've been off all day, trying to procure things for the home and trying to build relationships and build connections so that you can build your community and so that you can continue to develop your community and develop that space. Like, how do you get to go out there and do that and then come home and have seniority in the home? Like, no, you are a representative of the household. You are not the one that is really the most informed about the home or informed about that space. You're not the one who's building relationships with neighbors in community. Like, think about that. So it would make sense that Aki Bolin pre-colonialism was a matriarchal society. But we have to understand how the matriarchy failed, and I think it was a little bit too cocky, started taking the masculine energy for granted, started treating the masculine energy of the masculine beings as if they were workhorses, as if they were started to dehumanize them. Started to devalue their roles. And so I think that the matriarchy began to probably dehumanize the beings that were not born with the ability to carry life. When Zeus came into the picture, he planted the idea and used white women as examples to start to stay in their place. The matriarchy didn't take male serious. Yeah, they probably didn't see them as of great value. Cause I'm sure there was a time where they didn't even think that the seed was even necessary. Especially if it is true that some of them was able to give birth without, you know. Yeah, but I want to move to the covering cuz child my this stomach done went to giving me a little I've been trying to slack off on the pain pills, like so, and then I took one earlier. And you know it had me sleepy. So I don't I didn't want to take one before I did the live because I didn't want to be sleepy again. But I do want to move into talking about the covering, you know, because I feel like we have definitely did some unpacking. I did a video that I'm gonna edit for tomorrow about, you know, punk washing and the punktation and the punkyarchy. I made that video before I started this live, so I'm gonna edit that and release that tomorrow to TikTok, to all of the platforms tomorrow. Just further going into punk washing and punk splaining and the punkyarchy. Um, because we definitely need to delve into these more. But I want to take the time to. I saw a comment that really upset me, you know, and not to mention what Black China Mama said about Blue Ivory. You know, just spoke all of that negativity over her, and it gave me very much a Eve spirit, you know, a controlling Eve spirit, you know, because Eve birthed the Jezebels, Eve birthed all of that. And when I saw what Black China Mama said about Blue Ivy, even though I was upset because I feel like um, Beyonce had Blue Ivy on the stage, you know, at such a young age and looking so adult. I Beyonce started young. You know, Beyonce is only doing what she was taught. You know, this is how Beyonce was brought up. And Beyonce is an industry child. Beyonce is very invested in the industry. Um, and I'm happy with, you know, Lil Nas, to see Lil Nas, you know, just reclaiming more purity and not feeling the need to try to prove all of these points. But and that just kind of like intertwines with, like, that's what I want for Blue. Like, I understand Blue has a responsibility. Blue is a Capricorn. um Beyonce babies, they're Geminis, so I think they gonna be the reckoning. You know, I think that they're definitely gonna be them Gemini babies. That it's gonna get interesting when them Gemini babies find their voices. When them Gemini babies find their voices, it's gonna get interesting in the Carter house. But but Blue is a Capricorn, so Blue gonna hold it down. You know, they say Blue know a lot, and they say Blue has too much responsibility, but Blue is gonna carry it. Blue gonna carry that legacy. Blue is a earth sign. Blue gonna hold it. Blue gonna carry it until Blue can't carry it no more. Blue probably have seen a lot. Children are not crazy. They not slow. And Blue don't look like she crazy or slow. But Blue love her mother. Blue love her grandmother. And Blue has been groomed for this. And I just pray that Blue can handle the weight that's being placed on her. I pray that her knees don't buckle under the weight of the responsibility that's being placed on her. I pray that she's stronger than her mother. I pray that she's stronger than her father. I pray that I pray that this doesn't break her, because I don't know if she asked for this before she came here. All I know is that she's in it, and I see her, understanding the assignment, and I see her um trying to have her mama back in the best way she can, trying to be a big sister to her siblings. And so, like, I just want, to pray a covering over Blue, in spite of what everybody's saying. I want a hedge of protection to be around her, the ancestors to be with her. And I pray that, she can handle what's being thrown at her, and that she doesn't have to be harmed because of the mistakes that Beyonce has made, and because of the mistakes that Jay-Z has made. I really hope that their sins don't fall on that girl, and that they don't fall on the children. That they don't fall on Blue, and that they don't fall on Rami, and the boy. I don't really know the boy name because we don't never get the chance to see him. But the boy twin, I think they born on June the 13th though, which is ironically one of my ex's birthday. But I really hope that those children can handle it, and Miss Shirley, the one who they got, rolling her hips, and she don't even look like she 5 years old, and they got her somewhere rolling her hips. Like my prayer, like I was watching this series out of Africa. It's a Nigerian series, the one that I sent to you, and ironically, it is about child trafficking. When I tell you Disney got a series about child trafficking, and they made it look innocent. They made it look like these people was kidnapping these children, keeping them, and then just sending these children back. But we know in real life, if you treacherous enough to kidnap somebody's children, if you treacherous enough to kidnap a child, what else are you capable of? Rummy and Sir. Okay. What else are you capable of? If you're capable. So um Disney normalized and Disneyfied child abduction. The series is literally about children being stolen and ransomed. Child abduction, classism, and child abduction. It's a good story because it addresses classism, but child abduction, normalizing child abduction. This is a society where we're moving into a society where 3-year-old girls is rolling their hips talking about where them fans at, and Disney is telling stories about children being abducted and normalizing it. Meanwhile, the men up here arguing about keeping their manhood, no diddy, no homo. Children are being kidnapped. Women, young girls are being kidnapped. And the men is arguing and trying to prove they not like P. Diddy. Meanwhile, narratives about children being kidnapped and girls being trafficked are saturating the internet and the media. They're becoming a fixture in our culture while y'all arguing about your manhood. And see, this is how the fall of the matriarchy has harmed us. Because when it was a matriarchal society, I'm certain this wasn't happening. But the reason why it's a patriarchal society is not just all the women or all the beings that identify with womanhood was just somewhere doing their job and being just wonderful examples of humanity and just being blessed souls, and all of a sudden everybody that was born with a penis just said, okay, no, you know what, fuck these hoes, it's our turn to rule. That's not what happened. Corruption started to deteriorate the matriarchy. The Jezebel spirit. The prideful, arrogant, reductive energy started to spew from the matriarch, and it opened the door for the imbalance. Instead of the matriarch sharing power, the matriarch abused power. Instead of the matriarch helping to cultivate and to elevate the males up into the power and to share the power with them, they abused the power. And it opened the door for this complete slop box that we got now. And this is why I say I will not be a sidekick to biological women. And this is why they don't censor me either. Because I see where you're going with that. You got that same spirit that caused the matriarch to fall. I see you. You don't want us to transition because you want us to be your soldiers and your workhorses. You don't want us around here. You not jealous of us. You like a waste of a good man, a waste of a good workhorse, a waste of a good bodyguard, a waste of a good security, waste of a good bouncer. Damn. How dare you evolve? A waste of some good dick. You could have been my human dildo. You could have carried my bags. You could have been my shield. Pay my bills. How dare you embrace your wholeness and embrace the woman that's in you? How dare you? Well, I got to. Because you over here slipping. Somebody got to be an example of femininity that is not around here making men feel like shit. Somebody got to be an example of femininity that's not around here pumping out babies to be slaves for this punkyarchy. Somebody got to be an example of femininity that is striving for balance and wholeness and that is trying to share power and not rule over people. Somebody got to be that example. I mourn what was never mine rather than appreciating what you are. That's good. That's good. That's good. Somebody got a model of sovereign matriarchy, a waste of fake alpha males. And no, nobody here to replace you. Cause don't nobody want to do that shit. Don't nobody want to do that shit. Trying to be you is how we ended up here. Being you. That's how we ended up here. 500 years of this bullshit. Nah, ma'am. I don't want to be you. I don't want to be you neither, sir. And right now, I'm just praying for the children. I'm just praying for the children. Somebody gotta be the whole feminine. A man, a woman, competing on who's has the best cosplay was never the goal. You better say that. It was never. It was never the goal. It was never the goal. I'm take this and pin this though, McCrinky. I mourned what was never mine rather than appreciate what you are. That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, so I think we about covered it today. That quote was powerful. That was very beautiful. Yeah, but we got into some things today. We definitely did a dig in today. And I know it because I feel the weight of what we have talked about. I think we did a good job. I'm praying for the Purple Warrior Queen because I haven't seen her in a couple of lives. So I'm hoping that she's okay. Um, I'm praying for the priestess. I did saw she interacted with the post when I posted and said I was going live. Shout out to the priestess. And Purple Goddess, you were definitely missed today. We missed you, priestess, goddess in general. But we held it down, you know. Me and the prodigy held it down, and then we got, we had McKimpy Key. I don't know how you say that. Kim Kimmy. we had them to come through and drop a old powerful gem, and participate and give us some powerful gems. So I'm gonna do a little mouth chant, and when I say this, it means healing is flowing through the body. And this is going to act as the candle for today. Um, and we will definitely, if I don't do a live for nothing tomorrow, or I just make a video post tomorrow of a candle, doing the candle. But that's gonna act as the candle. Um, but we're gonna do this chant in honor of the children, and I'm saying Ayuk Ma Oya, which is calling on Oya. Um, Oya is associated with storms, and Oya is defiant. Oya started off as human and realized her divinity and rose up to be amongst the divine beings. So Oya understands humanity and also divinity. Oya is whole, a man and woman. And so we say Ayuk Ma Oya, which means healing is flowing through the body. Ayuk Ma Oya. Elma, oh yeah. Elma, oh yeah. Elma. Oh yeah. Ek ma oh yeah. Ek ma oh yeah. Now we're going to imagine protection, a wall of protection around the next generation. We're going to imagine them becoming more conscious. We're going to imagine them becoming more present. We're going to imagine them seeing through the cracks in the matrix. We're going to imagine them tapping into Nomanda's energy, Gadisha's energy. We're going to imagine them tapping into the Baroness energy, tapping into that Lilith energy. Ma oh yeah. Cover them. Cover them. Cover them. Protect these children. Protect our daughters and our sons and our siblings. Ma oh yeah. Thank you, God. 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 Okay, we getting ready to close out the live today. She needs to quit telling God. Say, say I need to quit telling God I'm non-binary before He disable my equipment. Oh my goodness, who said that? Your mama? The toxic patriarchy is a response of toxic matriarchy, abuse of power. Wow, the toxic patriarchy is a response of the toxic matriarchy, abuse of power. You better say that, Anandia. And really, honestly, and truly, in this 3D dimension, you know, once the split happened, they weren't connected, Um, because my question is, did Lilith, like Eve was no longer connected with Lilith, and Lilith was, in a sense, her elder. And so Eve was separated from her elder. Whoever created them separated Eve from the elder. And so Eve was left to her own devices. Well, the gag is God is non-binary, so there won't be no disabling needed. I say, thank you, God Goddess. All the girls won't went their separate ways, right? And we will continue to do the work to bring infant Tara back together. Amen, a woman. Thank you for the candles. Thank you for the purple hearts. I enjoyed this live. This was intimate. I'm sure people gonna get to it. People gonna get to the topic. We didn't really have no problem from trolls today. We had one major troll that almost tried to, trick us into ending the live. That's how powerful it was. When you have a troll that come on here and real well wrote, like literally try to fearmonger the live to stop. A punk notification. Exactly. Baby, that's how you knew we was doing something powerful. When that troll came on here and wrote a well written, the power bottom tried it. Wrote a well written, tried to cast a spell in the name of YouTube. A deception, a glamour in the name of YouTube. But we stayed the course. Amen, a woman. We stayed the course. We did not fall for it. And we continued. And we got through this. And we did that deep dive today. And now this information is available and it is present for the purple ones, the whole ones. So you can come and get your soul food, get your Sunday dinner. Okay, T.S. discernment. Um, he thought he had did his big one, huh? He thought he did work and got booted into the ass. Okay. Down with another I cool keep spinning and turning in God Yako Kulukalo, which means I am a child of God goddess, and if I am, you are bound and round, both circle and square. We too speak life, so operations beware. Sending healing to those in despair, El Bosawa, which means we come in peace, no harm to any lay. I love you all. Have a beautiful evening. Hey, Snook baby. We get ready to close out. Love y'all. Thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you for the candles. Thank you, Purple Prodigy, carrier of the gems of the future. Thank you, everybody who came on the live and made this a beautiful, amazing, soul-searching, deep-diving, spiritual conversation that was a blessing and a protection for the children. Amen. A woman, I love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Sending you love and light and good energy and force fields around you. Every day we covered. Love y'all. Later. Mwah. Yes, come get your plate, y'all. Y'all was late, but come on eat. Watch that rewatch.